There's a saying that the richest places in the world are cemeteries. Have you ever heard that? Yeah. And do you know what it means? Anyone?
Everybody dies.
Well, it's not that everybody died. It's that there's so much untapped talent. People who never fulfilled their purpose. People who never did what they loved or used the giftings that they had. And I don't want you to be one of those people. You see, those people never found what I call their Meraki. And I want all of you to find your magical place of Meraki. But now you're saying, what the heck is Meraki? Meraki is a Greek word. And every time I say it, I can feel the thousands of years of my ancestors welling up in me. Because the Greeks have a way of saying things. And it's really quite beautiful, the definition of this word. Meraki is when you put the essence of your soul, your creativity, and your love into something. Think about that. The essence of you goes into something. You've all seen people who do that, singers, possibly. They put the essence of their soul into something. Yes. There was a gentleman that I had the pleasure of meeting. He happens to be the drummer for Pink right now. And his name's Mark Schulman. But when you see Mark drum, it is just unbelievable. Because what he does, he's back there and you can see that energy, that love, that creativity, everything going through his drumsticks, into those drums and out to his audience. He knows his Meraki. Now, how do we get there? How do we get to this magical place of Meraki? Well, there's 3 things that you have to know. 2 of them you have to do before you can get to the 3rd one. So let's start with number 1. You have to open your heart and be vulnerable. In other words, you have to take off the Band-Aids. Because think about it, in life, there's so many times we get hurt, something happens to us, and we get Band-Aid on Band-Aid on Band-Aid, and our heart gets covered by all these Band-Aids. And we've really got to be able to start peeling those Band-Aids away and open our heart and be vulnerable. So I want you to think of one Band-Aid you can take off, because this is not an easy trip to take. When you start peeling back those layers of Band-Aids from past hurts, it can be painful. But what's on the other side is beautiful. That's why I want you to find your Meraki. And second, you have to live in the wonderment of childhood. And that means you have to find that hidden key again. That hidden key of childhood. I'll bet you that everybody in this room has done this. Think back when you were a kid. You laid out on the lawn on a warm spring or summer night, and maybe it was a beach, maybe it was an open clearing in the woods, and you gazed at that vast universe above you. Y'all did that, didn't you? Yeah, and you could do anything. You could fly through the stars. You could be Wonder Woman. You could be Superman. You could be anything you wanted to be. You could conquer the world. What happened? When did we lose that? Once you've taken off those Band-Aids, and you don't have to get all of them off, but you have to really start peeling those Band-Aids off. Because we have to remember, Band-Aids are man-mades, right? Yeah. And then once you have that misplaced key, that's when you can walk up to your magical place of Meraki. And what you do is you place that key down, and there's this big pulsating wall, kind of like an aurora borealis that you can't get through. But when you place that key down, all of a sudden, a portal begins to open. And when you step through that portal, you are stepping through the portal of greater knowledge. And what's amazing is you all have your own Meraki, so everybody's is different. And if you remember little Darcy, who I talked about before, her Meraki was writing stories. So she's walked into this library with these tall ladders. My Meraki is an island because it's filled with life's mysteries. So everybody's is different. But there's one common denominator that once you step through that portal, you will see the word knowledge. And all of a sudden, the word separates. Know and ledge. You have to know the secret of the ledge. But first, you have to know. And what is that know? I call that know your gut instinct. You have to learn to trust your gut instinct because your gut will take you to what you're really supposed to do in life. And I call that gut great uttering truth. So everybody's got to get that great uttering truth. Or some of you may prefer to call it God's uttering truth. But you have to learn to tap into that no, because that no will take you, again, to your purpose. Let me give you a quick example of that no. Many years ago, driving in California, I was going up in the mountains. And as I was driving towards the mountains, I was still on the base. I was on a 2-lane highway, not a lot of traffic. And all of a sudden, as I'm driving, I see this big truck coming towards me. And it's one of those, it was like a flatbed truck, and it had a big piece of equipment on it. So it was almost like twice as long as a semi, And it's coming, and all of a sudden my gut said to me, as it, said, as soon as it gets close, you need to ride the shoulder of the road. And my gut was so loud that when that truck got close, I just automatically started to ride the shoulder of the road, and one of its gigantic tires came off and rolled right down the lane I would have been in. And I just watched that sucker go by. And this is what I'm talking about, tuning into that gut. And when you tune into that gut, then you'll learn to get really in tune with it, because when your gut says go, your head will say, whoa, don't do this. So little Darcy's climbing up a ladder. You ever gone to the top of a ladder? Because Darcy's found her way, and she's at the very top of that ladder. And it's kind of scary up there, isn't it? On that very top step. And I have found my path up the mountain to the plateau, and I step up to the ledge. Because I've known, and I knew that my purpose in life was to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Darcy knew that she was going to write those stories. So Darcy just takes this plunge off the ladder, and all of a sudden the right people start coming into her life and lifting her up. And the right circumstances happen. And when I stepped off that ledge, I had this beautiful angel pick me up and help me on my journey. And every step you take towards your purpose, the path will keep appearing. So when the gut says go, don't let the head say whoa. And I want you all to find your magical place of Meraki.